Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining in. It's your boy Jay. We got a brand new property here in South Florida. We're doing things a little bit different on this one. We've got a rental property compared to a flip that we normally do. So we're gonna do a lot more cosmetic, a lot more touch and go as opposed to a really major renovation. So we're keeping it super simple and we're gonna get right into it. So without further ado, let's go. We're gonna start right here in the living room. Now, what's really special about this space is that it's not that special. It's actually really small. So let me show you some of the stuff that we're doing. Up on the wall here, you could actually see, for the most part, the wall looks pretty decent. Only thing we're really gonna be doing, we're gonna get all these screw holes out of here. We're gonna patch up everything, and we're gonna paint it, keep it super simple, super simple. Now, here's the thing that makes it really interesting. So this tenant that was last living in the house, they must have some serious sanitary issues because there are nothing but fist holes all over the walls. I mean, you can literally see it everywhere. You actually see holes that were punched into it. And you know it because they're all fist size. Look at that. Like, it's literally like a fist size. So something that we're gonna be doing once we get really into this house, we're gonna be cutting out a little shape around it, made a nice square piece to fit right inside there so we don't have to worry about trying to go in there and patch a bunch of holes. Just a lot of extra work. Another thing we're gonna be doing, all these floors that you see here, now if you look, they're actually in really terrible condition. So because of it, we're actually gonna just be tearing up all this stuff, putting some new floors down on top. Well, excuse me, not on top of this, but on top of the subfloor, which is underneath what you're looking at right now. Now, the benefit of that is that you're not gonna have these really nasty floors. Another thing you can't really perceive because it's in the camera is the smell of this place. It smells like a hairy, wet dog that just fermented over the course of like 2 weeks and just literally fumigated the entire house with its pungent smell. It's disgusting. So something that we're gonna be doing, once we get rid of all that smell, we're actually gonna be running our ozone, so like the small box that converts the air molecules, and it's gonna also help reduce some of that smell that we're currently getting because it's in the walls, it's in the leather, it's in the floor, nasty. But thankfully, because we're ripping out a lot of it, a lot of that smell is gonna go once we toss all that stuff out of here. So we got a couple more things to do inside the living room, but that kind of covers our base. Let's show you guys the kitchen and the bedroom right now. We're now inside the kitchen. So this space, it's actually very similar to another rental I was just recently doing. So what's great about it is it's got, this is what they call a galley kitchen. So on one side, you just have some straight cabinets. On the other side, not always, but in this particular instance, you have where your appliances are, where your appliance wall is. So what we're gonna be doing, we're gonna be just cleaning up the cabinets are on this side. Although something I literally just saw right now as I'm looking at it, there's actually no dishwasher here. So that might mean that I might have to slide some of these cabinets over to account for a dishwasher because nobody likes not having a dishwasher. Who wants to wash dishes by hand? It's just annoying. So something I'm probably gonna be adding is that I'm gonna have to move over some of these cabinets to accommodate that. In addition to that, we're gonna get rid of these disgusting appliances because they are god awful. So we're gonna get rid of the stove, we're gonna get rid of the microwave. I don't even wanna touch it because it's full of grease, it's nasty. So something else that happens too, if you look up, all these lights here, all of them are full of grease. So what ends up happening with a lot of houses, especially when you put lights inside your kitchen, you always have to take into account the fact that when you're cooking with all those oils get up in the air, they circulate, they land on the walls, they land on everything. So as a result, like touching these, nasty. So they're full of grease. So what we're gonna be doing, we're gonna swap out these lights. We're gonna put some hi-hats instead, which are just like flat lights that are gonna be up on the ceiling. It's gonna make it a little bit cleaner, a little bit simpler, and it's just gonna help reduce all the grease that's kind of bouncing around and getting stuck on all the surfaces. Another thing we're gonna be doing, we're gonna take this countertop off of here. We're gonna put a nice simple butcher block countertop down. Now, what I love about butcher block counters is that they're an incredibly low cost solution to making something look really good. Now, for rental purposes, they could get beat up, somebody can mess them up. You just sand them down, put another finish on top of them. Great, you really don't have to worry about them. It'd be nice to do stone, but stone is a lot more expensive. So that is gonna be the solution for this kitchen. Another thing we're gonna be doing, we're gonna be refinishing the cabinets themselves, putting some brand new hardware on them, and then mounting some shelves up above. Very simple solution. What I love about it, you don't gotta spend a lot of money. And as I always say, if you really wanna have good design, if you really wanna have things that look really nice, don't worry about breaking your budget, and this is a prime example of how you do that. We're now inside the main bedroom of the house, or what's perceived to be the main bedroom because it's not actually attached to any bathrooms. But this particular space has had some issues, and I could already tell from the beginning. So yesterday when I went through the house for the first time, we actually saw the floors. And if you look at this, like this tells you like people have no idea what they're doing. So you're looking at laminate floors that was put on top of laminate floors. Now, what's the problem with that? You can see it right here. See this buckling that's happening? See how the floors are buckling up? Well, the problem with that is that you didn't properly adhere the previous floor to the space. And what ends up happening, especially if you have a lot of moisture, which this specific room really did have, those floors underneath are gonna absorb that wood and it's gonna start to disrupt because now you have an expansion and contraction of those actual materials. So you always gotta make sure you leave some space, especially along the edges, so that things can expand and contract in proportion to each other. Well, the problem is when you have a spill, water gets underneath it and it doesn't have anywhere to go. It doesn't have anywhere to dry. So it was literally trapped on top of another floor, which went on top of it. And as a result, it literally buckled all of the floor all throughout. And I was trying to figure out what the heck is going on with this floor. Well, once we opened it up and we saw a floor underneath a floor, we kind of knew what was happening. So something we're gonna be doing, get rid of all this god-awful stuff because it is just abysmal and it's just a really terrible way to do it. So once we rip out all these old floors, we're gonna get the baseboard off. Thankfully, the baseboard is worth saving. It's actually in pretty decent shape. So what we're gonna do is put our new flooring down on top. Thankfully, the leak that we found wasn't actually in the floor below. It was literally just from the dog bowl that the previous people had because they had a dog that was in here, they got the bowl, it got wet, floors got saturated, yada yada. Anyway, once we rip up all that, we're gonna get our new floor down, we'll put our baseboard back in place, we're gonna fix more patches. Look at this. Remember the guy with the anger issues? Look at this shit. Literally everywhere, there's nothing but holes. Look at this. This is when you know you got a problem. But thankfully, all this is really easy to fix. Cut it out, put a new piece of drywall, tape it off, mud it, really nice. So as far as in here, we're gonna keep it really simple, very much like the other spaces. Just patch up whatever we can, put our new floors down, put our baseboard, call it a wrap. This is the only bathroom for this space, so we're gonna really go over it in detail here. So instead of normally chipping up tile like I do in a lot of other instances, in this one, I'm gonna be putting a new stencil down. So I actually found something that's on Amazon. It's actually used specifically when you have floor tiles and you don't wanna rip them up. So I'm gonna test it out. I don't know how well it's gonna work, but from what the reviews say, it actually works really well. What it's gonna be is it's gonna be painted onto the floor, and then it's gonna be a tile or a stencil pattern that's gonna be put down on top of it. So I'll let you guys know how it turns out. You'll actually see it along the process, but I do think it's gonna save a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy into chipping up all this tile and redoing all of it. It's just a lot of work. So that's the first thing we're doing. Second, we're getting rid of this god-awful vanity. Everything's god-awful. So we're gonna be getting rid of this vanity and we're gonna be replacing it with something that's just gonna look a lot more modern, a lot nicer. And then we're also gonna be doing a brand new mirror here as well. And then also finishing off with a brand new light too. So a lot of those little changes are gonna make a big difference. We'll put a new toilet in, and very much like a lot of our other bathrooms, we're gonna be painting it, or sealing it, I should say, resealing everything in white. New shower head, new fixtures, new shower tub faucet, simple. Laundry room for the house. Now this one's really simple, just a simple washer dryer, not a whole lot to it. We're gonna be patching up some of the walls, taking down these shelves because I think it just looks terrible. A lot of it's just cleanup. Same thing, we're gonna continue our painting pattern from the floor that's in the bathroom, in the kitchen, and also right here into laundry. I think it'll make for something that looks really nice. I really do, I truly do. So we're actually gonna have to see how it turns out when it's all said and done. As far as the doors are concerned, we're gonna paint it, make it look a little bit better, sand all of our trim and our baseboards, and then just finish painting that as well. This whole room can't take more than a couple days, so stay tuned and see what it looks like. All right, last space, guys. This is the second bedroom, and very simple. This one doesn't have a closet, so it's technically not a bedroom, but I do think that there's some rearranging that we can do to actually give it that bedroom classification. So something we're gonna be doing in here, very similar to the rest of the spaces, patching all of our walls. We're gonna be taking down all these ugly curtains. We'll put a fan in, because I do think fans really help as far as circulating the air. Take out the baseboards, put some new flooring down on top of the existing subfloor, put our baseboard back in place, paint it, not a whole lot. So something else that we're gonna be doing that I think is really important for this space, I don't know if we can get a shot. I don't even wanna touch it because the curtains are nasty. Let's look at it over on this side. Okay, so once we take out that old window, that really inefficient window, and put in some brand new impact glass windows, this room's gonna stay way cooler. Now, the only thing that's gonna be the big deterrent to that is how much money how much time, and how much do I want to do with the city? Because those three things are really very rarely in alignment. So stay tuned, we'll see what we do. Okay, y'all, thank you for tuning into the channel. Make sure you guys tune in again next week because we're gonna have a lot more updates. Remember, this is a rental property. We're doing things a little bit different. We're keeping it real simple for you. And I do think this is actually a great thing for you guys to follow yourselves, especially if you're looking to get into rental properties as opposed to flipping. So I'm trying to give you a little bit of mix on the channel because this channel is for you guys. So always keep that in mind. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and right here on YouTube at Abrams. And turn on those post notifications so anytime a new video drops, you're the first one to know. So till next time, later.